Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Technitrons channel where we're going to tinker and learn. Today's program that we're going to be doing today for this channel, for this video, is going to be stock market analysis with Python scraping and Excel VBA number data crunching. This is a demo purely for entertainment and educational purposes. I am not a stock trading expert or anything like that. Without further ado, be sure to click the like if you want to see more great content like this. Share the video with a friend, and also be sure to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Without further ado, we'll go ahead and get this party started. So let's get with it. And it opens these URLs really quick.
Got him. Definitely not the greatest at playing this game, but I have fun. That's all that matters. Ouch.
All right, for the sake of this video, let's see if I can go ahead and move me over so it's nice and convenient for us because we got to support the shorts. Got to support the shorts. And I'll, disappear and stuff like that. All right, without further ado, let's get it moving. Okay, so we're gonna stock market analysis with Python scraping and Excel VBA data analysis demo. Here's the how and the why. What we're gonna do is we're gonna be using a combination of Excel VBA and Python coding. I've created a way to pull data based upon the current stock market by ticker. Using VBA, I make the necessary calculations that support my market goals and objectives. The whole idea behind this project is to make sense of the stock market and create something that would help me with my Robinhood or any other brokerage firm. Um, and it the goal is to take the emotion, fear, and greed out of the stock trading process to keep it as scientific as possible. This lets me know, based upon my decision to enter the trade, the points at which I would exit the trade. It really comes down to risk management. Talk to anybody in the stock market, they're all about risk management. I am not a stock market expert or anything like that. I'm just a novice, just starting out, really. So don't hold me to anything. So, this content is for informational, educational, and entertainment purposes only, not professional, personalized advice. This is a hobby and an experiment for me that I decided to feature on the channel. I had to think about it long and hard before I featured it on the channel. So make sure you guys click the like. Investments do, in fact, involve risk, including the loss of principal, and past performance does not guarantee future results. Okay. While we're here, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to cough up them likes, share the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you've not already subscribed, hit that notification bell to get all the notifications from us. And also, too, what we're going to talk about is the Surfshark VPN. All right, the Surfshark VPN has a no logs policy. It's one of the top rated VPNs, which are independently audited for the no logs policy, meaning they do not store user activity, IP addresses, or traffic data. They run RAM only servers. Now, what are your VPNs used for? Well, you can discover all the possibilities. You get to encrypt your internet connection and protect your data, change the IP address to mask your location and reduce tracking. If you are abroad, you get your local content by switching to the country that contains your local content. You can stay protected on the Wi-Fi, public Wi-Fi, using the fastest VPN. Now, I personally do not use a public Wi-Fi. I'm not a big fan of it because there's just so many dangers associated with it. But however, by having this Surfshark VPN, it makes it permissible that I could actually go on a public Wi-Fi and protect myself from anybody, because anybody could run public Wi-Fi, and that's the scary part. So be sure to look at our 30-day money back guarantee. We'll provide a link for you for techteachonics.net regarding the Surfshark VPN, and they got like special deals, which we'll look at a little bit further. So protect yourself, protect your family. This is how you connect. It's real simple. It doesn't take a lot of your system resources to run, and you get connected to your VPN and all that good stuff. And it's good to go. You know what I mean? It's good stuff. I feel safer since doing it, and I also signed up with the deal where they have with Incogni to remove your personal data from the web. And let's take a look at this for a second here. Um, The Surfshark starter you can get for $178 a month. It's $48.6 for 27 months. You get your extra 3 extra months. All the deals here you get 3 extra months. For the Surfshark One, you get like the first plan you get VPN and alternative ID. Here you get VPN, alternative ID, antivirus, alert, and search. And then a Surfshark One Plus, you get all that you get in Surfshark One, plus the identity theft coverage with data removal by Cogni. Is great. Is great. I use it. I recommend it. It's good stuff. It helps me to stay safe online, and I'm sharing this because I believe that people should protect their tracks online. When you go to a site, they could see that you've been here. They could tell little things about you. They could look at the cookies and things like that. So we have a link for you, a special link for you that allows you to do that. So you can check it out for yourself. We'll provide a link in the comment section and the information section. Also, too, for service, consulting, video, audio creation, editing, format conversions, website setup, spreadsheet builds, web forms, and other business applications, you can visit us at prwdigital.net. Now, without further ado, we're going to start with getting the current stock data. For getting the stock data, we have a couple of choices. We could use Appify.com and pay the higher price for much less data. I was actually using Appify for this task on April 13th, 2026. The price of the tool that I'm using, or the actor that I'm using, goes up, quadruples in price. Instead of $2 for every 1,000 results, it goes to $8 for 1,000 results. For me, it only pulls 200 results for some reason. It doesn't provide me the full picture that I need with regards to the stock market. So I have a couple of options. I can either continue to and get charged the upgraded price, or I can get involved in creating Python code and search other repositories in GitHub that do similar. Now, I did search other GitHub things, repositories, and I didn't find nothing. And I said it would be better if I just kind of did something on my own to help me with this. And that's what I did. Um, Ultimately, it costs me less to do, but it takes a little bit of time and a little bit of troubleshooting, which is fun for me. I love that stuff. And that's how it works. So, right now, what's going to happen is we got to get this data, and then we're going to bring it into our sheet, and then we're going to run some math on it to make decisions about what we want to do. We want to take a look at the cost of such. So, what my cost of getting the current stock data is this: using Appify currently would be 44 cents for just those 200 results. To increase to one, it's going to quadruple, so that's going to be $1.76 for 200 results. Now, if I go to GitHub and set me up a personal repository that does not, that is currently not shared, which is private for me because I don't want to deal with sharing a repository right now. If you guys are interested in me sharing this, maybe talk to me about it in the email and stuff, and I'll give you that contact information. But ultimately, I chose to go with GitHub because it cost me 10 cents for those 500 results that I'm seeing. Okay. So let's take a look and see this. So the only option I have here is to cancel Amplify automation. No sense in paying for more for less. May as well cancel automation now so I don't forget and incur additional costs. You got to automate responsibly. So this is what I'm doing now. I have to go in, and this is what I did. You see that right there? It's $2 for $1,000 results. This was set to run as Sunday at 2:55 a.m. in the morning, something like that, and it sends it to my G drive, you know, and I pick it up from there and I do the rest. So right now you can see that this is the screen in which you do the scheduling. I want to go in and undo that enabled. So I would select the actor, then I would disable it, confirm it, and do it. Then I would refresh the page just to make sure that all of the changes you made have taken. That's what I did. Okay. So we wait just a minute and pretty much it loads up again and it's disabled. So we're fine there. So I'm not going to incur any additional charges for this. So it says in the next 14 days or so that the stock screener will change and the price will quadruple. So the actor start price will be the same, it looks like, but I got to pay 4 times much for the results. I ain't doing it. No way. No, thank you. All right. So here's what it goes. Um, Getting stock data via Python on GitHub, it involves a little bit more technical savvy. Getting the stock data via GitHub involves running Python. I don't have to install it on my system because it's running in Google Chrome on their little cloud thing that they have going on. I guess they call it what they call it. It's awesome. Like I've been on GitHub before. Of course, things change over the years, and it's a very handy tool. Now, this code takes 4 to 5 minutes to get all that market data. Once completed, I am provided a CSV file to download. It contains the data organized in a way that allows me to run my calculations later in Excel using the VBA code. So it's pretty neat stuff, you know. Um, so this is me in the environment on the browser running Python to get the information it's going, grabbing this information by ticker. And this is like getting me close to the prices of what's going on now. And it's giving me about 10 columns worth of data, including the company, the ticker, and the price to earnings ratios and things like that. Like all this stuff that is hopeful in terms of making the next 7 columns of calculations for my special sheet. Um, yeah, so we're in a GitHub code spaces, and this is where we are right now. We're finishing that up. It's a good thing. Good thing. Very handy. Very useful. I love it. Good stuff. All right, so it's pretty much done, and it's very useful. Very useful. Let me see something real quick. Uh, yep, that's what we are. That's where we are. So this is what it does. This is what it looks like. Kind of, you know what I mean? I got the screen all, kind of, you like I said, I don't necessarily, it's not a public repository at this time. Maybe I could create a public repository, but I'm not really gunning to do so, if you will. Now, what we do is we got to download the CSV file for fuller analysis. The data is provided in CSV format. For those that don't know, format CSV is comma separated values. And that's what we're going to do. Okay. So what happens is everything's done in my workspace. I go ahead and I get the stock data and such. And then I'm going to rename the CSV file. And I mean, you could do it however you want to do it. You know what I mean? But I am going to rename it to something I recognize and pull it out of my downloads so that I can grab it on my drive. Right. And we have to grab it, we have to convert it to a .xlsx file for Excel to read. I'm sure I can code it to read the Excel, the CSV file if I wanted to, and that sort of thing. That's something I'll look at to save us a step. Well, hey, while we're here, you may as well check out the Surfshark VPN. It features a no-log policy, top-rated VPN, independently audited for the no-log policies, meaning they do not store user activity, IP addresses, or traffic data. They run servers that contain RAM-only type deal. The VPNs are used for encrypting your internet connection to protect your data, protect your internet the internet the internet trail that you leave, the internet breadcrumb trail that you leave behind. Sorry, as far as cookies, information about your surfing habits, and all sorts of stuff. You can change the IP address to match your location and reduce tracking. Like, for instance, some things are geo blocked in certain areas, and some things are available in other areas, and certain things like that. Um, so, if you are in another country doing some travel and you want to get your local content, say here in this area, you would switch your VPN to the IP address that's associated with this area, and it would provide you the ability to get that information from your local area. If you are on public Wi-Fi, anybody could run a public Wi-Fi if they really wanted to. They could get your information too if they really wanted to. So we have a 30-day money back guarantee. We have a link for you in the comment section and the information section of the video at techteamtronics.net. Surfshark. And without further ado, we'll continue on with the presentation. Oh yeah, before I start, these are the prices that we're looking at. These are the packages that they have when I went and checked it out. Um, I recommend Surfshark One Plus. The plan features data removal by Incogni. Now let's take a look at this, right? If you had to go out to Incogni and do Surfshark separately, I believe you would be paying a little bit more than would we give you on this offer right here. So you're a really good idea to take a look at the link we have below, techteamtronics.net, Surfshark, and go from there. We'll provide a link before you and where we'll be. All right, on with the presentation. Um, be sure to cough up the likes. Smash that like button like your significant other. Subscribe to the channel if not already subscribed, and hit that notification bell to get the notifications from us. All right, let's go. All right, so we got to convert the CSV file to XLSX to be read by the Excel tool that I created. The data provided in .csv format is comma separated values. It must be converted to Microsoft Excel Open XML spreadsheet format right now. But I'm the one that created this. I could change that at any time and make it read right off the CSV. That's something I'm considering to eliminate some steps on my behalf and even further automate this process. The files to be saved in a location that my PC can get to, right? So that's exactly what we're doing. We have to convert this. We have to open it. You know what I mean? So right now I'm going into the stock data calculator tool, and I'm going to import the data, right? So I copy the addressed text. The coding on my tool is not set to read the CSV files. It's really limited. So I have to go into the coding that's one part of the fix that I would have to do to make it say CSVs and stuff like that, and change a few things here and there to make it read the CSV file instead of having to convert it. And then I could also create a simple macro that just converts it from CSV to on the fly, something like that. There's so many different options when you can automate your own stuff. Like, you don't have to rely on somebody else to make an update. It's up to you. You know what I mean? That's what the beauty of automation and like coding things is. This is our CSV file that we have pulled. I'm in the process of saving it and also checking it for integrity in terms of how many lines of data do I have. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going ahead and I got it set to save as an Excel workbook, and preparing it for importation into the stock data calculator tool. Okay. Now I'm just checking to see where the last line of data is, and it's kind of in the 500 something range. It's 501. There were 501 items listed because I know I have 3 columns or something like the top. There's 504 total. I don't remember exactly what, but we're ready to import the data. But before we do that, we have to modify the coding and the um, the VBA code to accept and process the larger amounts of data. Because what happened was, I had actually designed this with the filtering structure, and the limitations were set to 500 rows. We're going to need just a few more than 500 rows, so it made more sense to update our code in several places to go for 900 rows of data. I could have went for 1,000. I could go for 2,000. Doesn't matter. Just as long as we have more rows built into the VBA code to cover the rows that we have, data that we have, so it's filtered properly and nothing gets missed. That's the dangers of if you don't check that sort of thing. So right now we are in the VBA section, the developer area, um, and what I'm doing is just going to go through this code, and I'm going to make sure that all places that reference the capacity of the sheet in terms of um, what to look for, what to import, what to filter, and just general information about the size of the data is going to be upgraded by changing the 500 to a 900. Um, you could use find and replace. I like to do it by hand because find and replace could get kind of sketchy if you got other things that are similar, you know. Like in that case, we had to do a Q900, Q900, and then we go down. So it's basically saying that the last column that we have of data is Q, and then we're changing it from 500 rows to 900 rows for the time being. And there's several places that we have to do that. And that's the beauty of writing your own stuff, is that you know where your stuff is that you need to change to make an update and this, that, and the other. You don't have to rely on anybody else. That's the beauty of it. I like making music and I like automating things. That's fun for me. So look at this. The stock data into the stock data calculator tool, and we're going to run the math. What happens here is the data that we pull will fill the first 10 columns of data with the stock data calculator. We have to run the macro to make critical calculations such as entry and exit points, stop loss, take profit, risk exposure, the amount of stocks we could purchase for the $50 I have specified in the first page of that sheet that I could change as different times come on. Because part of the sheet actually tells me how many stocks I could buy with that $50. Potential profit, and we could confirm the numbers provided meet our risk and rewards ratio. Ultimately, what's happening here is for those 500 lines of data, I could sit here and calculate each column at a time. It would take way too long. It would not be feasible. That's where the VBA automation and the stock data calculator tool comes handy, because it allows me to take 3,500 equations. It'll be done in a matter of milliseconds, which is amazing. The data will take 7 additional columns. The data we are calculating comes from a set of constants and the variable data provided from the first 10 columns as provided from online. Give us real world market conditions and things like that. So right now, I'm in the stock data calculator, and I'm showing that there's nothing in there right now, right? Now, if we look at this, when I put the the return target at 30% and the stop loss at 10%, that means that we're doing a 3 to 1, 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio, right? So for every dollar I put in, that's $2 extra beyond what I put in that I should be getting back. That's kind of how it works. The entry point is roughly an estimate of $50. The stop amount is 5. That's just some other data that I put in. Doesn't really affect the 5, but the entry point, the stop loss, and the return target are really crucial in this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead with the stock data calculator and import that data from which I converted. It's going to tell me that the data was imported successfully. And remember, we showed you before, columns all the way up to column J is with the information provided that I downloaded from the CSV file and such. It contains the change, the company, the country, the nature of the market, and what and that sort of thing. It tells me the volume, gives me the ticker, and the entry price and PD ratio, the profit to something like that. Profit to earnings ratio, the profit to earnings ratio. So I hit calculate all, and what happens is it goes through and does all those calculations in a matter of milliseconds. I couldn't. It would take me all day if I even got through it. So that's where the automation comes handy. It's a very powerful thing, um, and it's not that hard to do if you do it right. So now it gives me the earnings to price ratio, the target price, the stop loss, the risk to reward ratio is just a check to make sure we're at where we're at, and then it gives me where I get in and where I get out. So I'm going to print this to a PDF file using another macro, okay? And then it's going to give me that data in a PDF format. I could always keep it in Excel. I could do filter and this, that, and the other, but PDFs are light, and I like working with PDFs. Only thing that's something I'm going to consider in the future because it's all about technique and changing and different things like that. So we'll create the PDF report, save it, clear the data from the stock data calculator. The data will be printed to a PDF report by a separate macro that saves it to a predetermined location. It will sort the data by country and entry prices. That's the current prices of the market. That's the price at which you would enter. When we have the PDF report completed, we will clear the data from the stock data tool for next use next week. So to use the updated information that we received by then. Pretty cool. Make sure you're clicking that like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Smash that like button right now, like your significant other. That's all I can say. So we're just looking and going through the sheet for the data integrity. What we're looking at, that column right there, is that's how many stocks I could get for that $50. And we're looking at the potential profit and the exposure of risk. So it kind of gives me kind of a general synopsis of each ticker and what getting into it would kind of involve. So it's going to overwrite my file like we seen in that scene before, and it's going to publish it to a location of my choosing. It takes a second, and then it's done because there's quite a bit of data, quite a bit more than what we're used to. That 200 lines is and 500 lines is a little different. You see the data is all there. We're going to hit the reset, which is another macro, and it cleans it up for next week. And we're going to, save the sheet and have it prepared for us for next week when we're ready to use it. Like I like to take the tools that I most frequently use and put shortcuts to them on my desktop to make it simple. Save our work, close out of it, get out of it, all that good stuff. Yeah. Now we're going to take a quick look at the report that I just generated in a PDF. I have it set to fit all columns on one page. It is a lengthy report. I think it's about 10 pages at least or something like that. 11 pages. Yeah, that's what it is. 11 pages of data. So at first it was about 4 pages of data when I was running the 200 or so, 4 or 5 pages of data. Now it's 200 months of data. I'm looking for certain things like entry prices, stocks that I can afford because I'm not set up to do buy stocks in dollar amounts. I'm set up to buy stocks by individual basis. So if the stock is going for $1 and I see the potential, that's one thing. But I look for there's something that this tells me. It tells me the amount that I could lose and get out, afford to lose and get out, and it tells me what I could maximize off of. You know what I mean? And the higher the potential profit, the higher the cost to get in. That's just how it is. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm taking a look for a price. The price is representative of the current market price, the entry price that we want to enter in. Right now, just sticking to the United States, no particular industry. Some of these numbers, I like. I use more. They have more meaning than others. I'm learning how to apply the other numbers as well. And there might come a time where I might have to clean up this report and say I'm not really using column B or such and such. Like we have the change in column A. We have like the nature, the industry and sector. So like that's kind of like something I could look at there to make things a little bit more efficient. I'm looking at the price range of the stocks that I could actually afford for the time being, so I could buy whole stocks and not partial stocks and things like that, right? Um, So right now we're going into my brokerage, Robinhood for right now. There's other brokerages out there, and we have sought and found an opportunity. There's no at this part of the game or the part of the process. I'm looking for a stock that's kind of trading in a favor that benefits me. Like it's like kind of like riding the horse in the direction it's going. If the horse is going north and you want to go north with the horse. You can't go south when the horse is going north. You see what I'm saying? So it's got, kind of a trend. So what's going to happen next is basically after going through the PDF generated by the stock data calculator, if a stock is found to be trending in a positive direction, I'm going to go ahead and purchase the stock. Then we will set up the Robinhood stop limit in order to hold down or sell depending upon what conditions are met. Input our limits to protect our risk to reward ratio, and then we're going to monitor this. And it's not a big deal to monitor this. Like when the portfolio becomes more diversified and larger, this is our score sheet that I keep on active trades. Um, I'm going to be doing different things to this sheet. When a trade not becomes when the trade doesn't become active, I'm going to run a macro to take it to a history page. So basically, I'm inputting the data that I need in order to make this trade. So we're looking at the current price, and this is coming from my PDF that I just ran. I'm going to update the current price when I actually purchase it to reflect the actual price that I buy to kind of compensate for the spread, if you will. This is kind of the exposure that $3 is the cost, that $11 is the max I could take for the rules on that. It doesn't seem like much, but when you grow a portfolio, that stuff kind of adds up. If you got 10 stocks bringing you $10, that's $100 right there. That's how it works. Feel free to get in the comment section if you know anything else and can help me on this venture, stuff like that. Or you can send me an email and we'll talk about it. So basically, I'm going in and setting up to buy that share. I saw a nice price that fit kind of what I have available in my buying power section. And I'm going in and I'm putting the minimums. Another thing that I want to improve is I want to take away the decimals so I don't have to keep rounding up or down. Um, Things like that. There's little things like that that I got to look at. That's the beauty of this. I control what I created, and it's I can update it as necessary. So that's the price that we're gonna do. We're gonna get the share. You have to buy the share first, or buy the share at the stock market price at the price at your brokerage, in order to set up the stop the what to call it's called the what do we call that? Yeah, because they got so many different terms for it. The closest thing that can help me with what I'm doing is we have to set up the type of stop that is going to take me out when the price gets so much, and we have to set the stop loss, and it's going to convert to a certain order when this. So I want to get out when it's $50.52, but I want to cut my losses at 34.97. These are net gain, net losses. So I want to set up a stop limit in Robinhood to um, enforce my system here. So right after I bought that stock, I'm going to do a stop limit order. I'm going to put in the stop price. I'm going to put in the share that I'm selling. I'm going to set it for good till canceled, and it expires at July 7th. Save my spreadsheet that I have for this. I'm going to put in that limit price, $50 and some change, $50.52, and $34.97 for the stop price. So if the market conditions are right, the stop price and it'll execute the trades based upon this criteria being met. Don't leave it to the automation. Stay up on it. What's going to happen is after I make this video sometime, I'm going to go and check on things and see. And what's going to happen is it's going to tell you, see warnings, and let's take a look at this. What is happening is I'm placing a good till canceled stop limit order to sell one share of PPL when the price of PPL reaches 34.97. So I'm protecting that ratio. Your order will be converted to a limit order at 50.52 per share. I'm getting out and I'm not getting greedy. And I'm maintaining a diversified portfolio in order to get to grow. You see what I'm saying? So this is a confirmation. The market price at the time, right there. It's got a ways to go to get to 52. So I'm betting that it gets up there. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm only risking so much. That's what it's about. So when I had no rhyme or reason, I didn't understand this stuff. So I had to think about it and figure it out and then automate what I could at the time. And then we're done. You know, I checked to see that my stop limit sell is there. That's the thing I like about Robinhood. All the information about what you're holding is right there on its screen. I set the sheet to, you know, keep it update and different things like that. So this is great. So this tool is created to have a process of managing risk and rewards in stocks. It requires discipline, consistency to grow. The process is designed by me and subject to change. Stocks will go up and down. The idea is for every dollar spent, I get two more than I spent. If done correctly, 1,050. And we're going to hold that thought right there. I want to show you guys something that I updated. So I'm going to go to screen one real quick and show you what I have here is I updated that, and that's the thing. I've worked with Excel for so long. I just did. It tells me at the top the date that this report was ran. So it was ran, yeah, the day before, right, that I'm recording this at 9:27 p.m. Now, what that means right there is that's how much is the value of the stocks, right? This is where I was at. The stock market was up a little bit, so I'm ahead by that much. If this goes into the negative, that would mean I'm behind. I have 6 items listed here. That's counting that. Now, the total exposure is actually, this is the money that actually came out of my pocket to even get to, because prices go up and down. Then here is the net loss. The total of the net loss would be there. Then this is the total of the net gain. See, the net gain outweighs the net loss, and they're all set to stop limit orders. But with that, I need to also be vigilant and monitor. So before we even go, this is like, it deals with the symbol company, indicating whether it's active or not, the price I entered at, the date I entered it, and when I exit the trade, I'm going to put the exit price and date, and this represents the current price. One of the things I want to do is maybe automate the capture of the current price somehow, some way. Then this I just did last night. I used the conditional formatting feature that allows me to see by color at a glance how close am I getting to that green part, take profit, and likewise how close am I getting to not taking a profit and when to get out. And it looks at the numbers for me. It tells me that information. I calculate the shares. There's multiplication involved. The duration here is going to be calculated from the end date when I get out. Net loss for this particular item here, I'm going to get out, but I only lose $5. If I gain, I come out with $13, and I'm kind of on the way to gaining that $13 in that stop limit. That's what we had. That's what it's about. It's like creating a science behind something that seems to not make any sense, but it actually really does make sense. You know what I mean? So let me get back to the presentation and let's finish this out. All right. So be sure to smash that like button like your significant other. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and all that stuff, and share it with a friend. All right, Surfshark features a no-log policy. Top-rated VPNs are independently audited for the no-log policies, meaning that they do not store user activity, IP addresses, or traffic data. We use VPNs to encrypt internet connections to protect your data. You can change the IP address to match your location or reduce tracking, or you could use it to get geo-blocked content. You can stay protected on public Wi-Fi systems, and we have the 30-day money-back guarantee. All packages of the Surfshark deal that they have shown has a 30-day money-back guarantee. TechTeamStrong.net to Surfshark is where you want to go to get yourself, and this a connection to Surfshark, a subscription. Don't pay by the month, pay a yearly if you got it, so that, and you get that 3 months additional. It's worth it. Plus, the one plan gives you the One Plus plan actually gives you that incognito data removal service, which is great. And I've had a lot of my data removed from Incogni, and I'm pretty impressed with what they're doing thus far because the hours, I mean, I saved nearly 200 to 300 hours of trying to do it myself, you know? But this is the pricing that we're looking at. We recommend Surfshark 1 plus the plan features data removal by Incogni. You can visit the link at techteamtronics.net, Surfshark, and we'll provide the link conveniently below for you and that sort of thing. Okay, now for services, consulting, video editing, creation of editing formats, so website setup, search builds, and things like that, visit us at prwdigital.us. When you go there, this is what it kind of looks like. It shows kind of what's going on. My philosophy about websites is the Molly and Dad calling card and different things like that. And it showcases some of the work that I've done and things like that. It's changed. This is an old video, so we're going to do an updated video on that part. Right? Not right now, but that sort of thing. But we're at prwdigital.us. You go to service inquiries. It's a lengthy form, but not that lengthy. You can put in your information, fill out the asterisk, tell us a little bit about your project, your company, this and the other, and click submit after you hit I'm not a robot, and be sure to check your spam or junk for confirmation, and it tells you the deal. So that's really it, and I'm out of breath. I would like to thank you all for watching. You could get a hold of me at techteamtronics.net, info@techteamtronics.net. Visit the site, techteamtronics.net, like the video, share the video, subscribe. And that's really all I have for us today. Thank you for watching. Once again, smash that like button like your significant other, and we're good to go. Let's go.
It's DJ 3T.